Welcome to the Psychic Pastry Chef, where two unlikely worlds merge. You may know me from my other YouTube channel, Pam Georgel, where I post monthly psychic tarot readings, mid-month psychic tarot updates for each sign of the zodiac, along with psychic crystal readings for the new moons, full moons, and eclipses. And also the special psychic readings that I record for my Vimeo on-demand channel. Here in these videos, I'm going to show you desserts and cakes and pastries that you can make at home to impress your family and friends and give you psychic messages while doing so. I tuned in psychically and found out what desserts each zodiac sign liked and why. Today we're going to be focusing on the sign of Virgo. Virgo likes desserts that bring them a sense of peace and family connectedness. They like things like old-fashioned carrot cake and strawberry shortcake. They like desserts that are made tableside, like crepes Suzette, bananas flambé, bananas Foster, and sweet and light desserts like berries and whipped cream. So today, we're going to make, for the sign of Virgo, carrot cake. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Now remember, as I always say, get all your ingredients together first before you start. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you're going to need 2 springform pans, both lined with parchment paper and sprayed with some kind of nonstick cooking spray, okay? So I have my 2 springform pans ready behind me, and you're going to need the biggest mixing bowl you have because this is a lot of ingredients. So the first thing that you're going to add into this is the dry ingredients, which is 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of salt. You're going to put this in the big bowl. And then to that, you're going to add oil and eggs and vanilla. The eggs are 4 large eggs. The vanilla is 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and the corn oil or vegetable oil is 1.5 cups. So you're going to add that, and then you're adding 3 cups of granulated sugar, and you're going to want to whisk this together, and you're going to add 1.5 cups of shredded, actually it's 1.5 cups of cooked pureed carrots. You're not going to use shredded carrots like you do in a normal carrot cake recipe. You're going to add the shredded cooked carrots, so that the pureed carrots, sorry. They're driving pilings in across the street from my house today and delivering big giant logs and backhoes and everything, and it's a little distracting, so I'm sorry about that. And the other thing you want to add is 1.5 cups of shredded coconut and 1.5 cups of chopped pecans, but you can use walnuts if you want to. That goes in here too. And it has 3/4 cup of crushed pineapple. You want to drain that pineapple first. So this is like a real dump and stir kind of mixture. So now you have all the ingredients together, and you're going to mix this together. You can use a wooden spoon, a spatula. You really, if you want to use a mixer for this, you would have to have a giant mixer, much bigger than a 5-quart. You would have to have like a probably a 20-quart mixer, which most people don't have in their home. So this mixer here is a 5-quart mixer. It wouldn't even fit in that. So you want to mix all these ingredients together. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to focus in psychically on what messages I get, and I'm going to start with Virgo. Loose lips sink ships, they say. So be careful of what you're saying in 2018. Because I feel like there's a problem with some kind of vice that somebody has coming to the surface. So if you have some vice of some sort, or someone you know and are related to or care about has something, this could be, I don't know, a vice could be so many different things. Problems with alcohol, problems with gambling, or, you know, I don't know, there's many different things. It could come out. It could come out, or you may find out about it. But I get loose lips sink ships for Virgo, so think about that. I feel that some of you Virgos are going to have something that's going to come to a boiling point for many of you. And this could be like a relationship. It could be a work relationship. It could be somebody you're in a relationship with. But I get something coming to a boiling point for you. It could happen in May of 2018 because I get May. Timing won't be the same for all of you, but it is coming up here as May. Libras are going to be strutting their stuff in 2018, so I feel like you're going to be feeling good about yourself. Some of you are really going to be happy with any physical changes you made, if you did any kind of plastic surgery, or you've, you know, changed something about yourself, changed your hair, changed your diet and exercise. But like strutting your stuff for Libras comes up. Some of you Libras may be dealing with issues that have to do with child custody. This could be something that's been an ongoing thing. So there may be some people that have to go to court or go to mediation about it. That would involve child custody for some of the Libras out there. So now I'm going to pour this carrot cake mixture. Wow, you really have to go through it well because I keep finding pockets of flour. Some of you Scorpios, I feel, are going to be making amends with a family member, or, yeah, it does come up as family, I was going to say, or someone else that you care about or had some disagreement with, but it really comes up as family. Feel Scorpios may be doing some traveling. Traveling comes up for Scorpios in 2018. Focus, it could be in July for many of you, could be. Really, it could be any time in the year, but July is coming up strongly. I definitely pick up that the Scorpios feel there's somebody that you have to, you know, rectify something or say something to. So now I'm going to stick these in the oven, and it should go in for about 50 minutes. Check it, and if it's not done, then keep it in the oven and put your timer on 5-minute intervals and just keep testing it by putting a steak knife in it or a toothpick or a skewer to test it. And next we're going to get ready and start making the cream cheese frosting for this carrot cake while this is baking. And now for the cream cheese frosting, we're going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese and 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And everything should be at room temperature is best. If you try to mix this when it's all cold, it's going to get lumps. So we're going to start creaming this together first. Okay. And now I'm going to add 3 cups of sifted powdered sugar. but I'm only going to add half of it to start. Stir it in on low so all the powdered sugar doesn't go everywhere in every direction. I'm gonna add some more. So I'm adding this powdered sugar here in 3 stages. Now, to give this cream cheese frosting a different twist, I'm going to add orange flower water into the recipe, 1 teaspoon, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You don't have to use the orange flower water. You could use 1 tablespoon of lemon juice if you'd like. Okay, so I'm going to scrape this down. In the carrot cake recipe, I also added a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. You do not have to put that nutmeg in if you don't like nutmeg, and some people are allergic to it. But I do think it gives the carrot cake a little extra something something there. So you might want to add that. And make sure you sift all your dry ingredients together when you're making the carrot cake. Sift the flour, the baking powder, the salt, the nutmeg. Sift all that together before you add it to the carrot cake recipe. Okay, so now I'm going to add the remaining powdered sugar. All right. So I'm going to add the 1 teaspoon of the vanilla extract now. Really shouldn't measure it over the mixing bowl because if you have a little slip up, it could go in, but I'm breaking the rules right here. 1 teaspoon of the orange flower water. You can get that online if you don't know where to get it. I don't know where you would get it locally. If you have a gourmet market that has unique and unusual ingredients, you might be able to get it there. I bought it online. When I had my own shop, we would order it from people that would bring in products from France. So there's websites you can find it. You know, the big one that starts with the letter A, you can get it there. And there is going to be another recipe I'm going to show you in the future that does require orange flower water. So it could be something you might use, and you can use it when you make sponge cake. I'm going to make madeleines later, which are little cakes, little French cakes that are like cookies, but they're in the shape of scallop shells. That also requires orange flower water. Okay, so now when the cake comes out and is cooled, we can ice the carrot cake. And if you find that this is not enough cream cheese icing for you, you could double it or do 1 full recipe plus half if you don't feel like it's enough. Because I'm looking at it and maybe it will cover the whole cake, but people really like cream cheese frosting, so you never know, might not be enough. Also, the other thing you want to do now at this stage of the game is I'm putting toasted coconut out around the outside of the cake when I decorate it. If you want to do that step, then you're going to need a sheet pan lined with parchment paper. As you can see, my wonderful job of carefully cutting it out evenly, so nicely. And just put the coconut, make sure you spread it out on the pan, and use a spatula or something long. I used this offset spatula, because the coconut's going to get toasted quickly around the edges, and you're going to want to keep checking it. If you forget that coconut, it's going to burn really quickly. I put it in a 350-degree oven. I put the coconut all over the pan, and as I kept checking it every couple of minutes, and then I just kept bringing in the toasted coconut around the outside edge into the center, and it makes the lighter coconut in the center toast even faster. And then you don't want it to get too dark, and then once it comes out, you let it cool. And then, so don't be thrown if some of it looks a lot lighter than others, because when you mix it all up, it looks nice that way. So you don't have to use toasted coconut. You could use ground pecans if you would rather, because pecans are in this cake. Or if you're using walnuts instead of pecans, you could use ground walnuts on the outside of the cake. I'm using toasted coconut. So we'll get back to decorating this cake next. Now here's a way you can also decorate this carrot cake. We used to do it at all the places I worked. You can do it at home too, just as easily, because they do sell marzipan in the food store, in the baking aisle. So I bought a little box of marzipan, and I colored a section of it orange and the other section of it green. If you don't want your fingers stained with either of the colors, please make sure you buy little disposable gloves or use paste food coloring. I just use the food coloring that you can buy in the little bottles at the food store. So you need a little bit of powdered sugar here. You want to dust your hands with it. You also want to dust your work surface with it, and you're going to need a paring knife. So with this carrot cake, I'm going to make 12 carrots. So you could divide up your, if you want to divide it up in early, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm not making 12. Hold up. I have to add more marzipan. See, it comes in a box. This is what it looks like before it's colored. And maybe I need way more than I thought, huh? So I'm going to mix this together. Turn the entire thing orange, because that was not going to make 12 carrots. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to focus on the sign of Sagittarius for the year of 2018. I feel that some of you Sagittarians may have a little bit of upheaval going on emotionally, ups and downs, emotional upheavals, ups and downs around Christmas time of 2018. You may be contending with a family member that's either has been having some illness in their life, that's not feeling well, something kicking up in that regard. Now I have to make this a little bit more orange, because this is a little, well, it's pretty good, but I'd like it to be a little more orange. So as I said, I just bought box food coloring, but if you use food coloring from that's paste, it will not, well, it can still stain your hands. I shouldn't say that, but it's less liquidy, and you can use it with a toothpick to get the color into the marzipan. Some of you Sagittarians, I feel, are going to get linked up to someone new or someone important professionally in 2018. This person, to me, feels like it would be a supportive role. They'd be playing a supportive role in your life, Sagittarius, like being a supportive character to what you're doing. Could be a new business partner, but it could also be somebody that you now have to team up with or work with. Some of you Capricorns are going to be learning a new skill. I see some of you, you may actually learn how to drive something new, like a big rig, a forklift, or just learning some new skill of some sort. For Capricorns, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be in the legal field, it could be in, you know, psychic work, whatever you're doing, Capricorn, I feel like you're learning something new. Okay, so this looks pretty good. I feel that learning that new skill for Capricorn could happen in the month of February 2018. And I also pick up that Capricorns are going to be looking to find a new place, could be decorating a new apartment or something like that. So now I'm going to roll it out. So that's the size I want to shoot for there. And I'm going to make little ridges in it like it's a carrot with the paring knife, little lines to make it look carroty, extra carroty. So that's going to be my, actually I didn't need to divide them up. See, it's been so long since I've done this, I don't remember anymore. I'm like relearning while I'm doing this with you, with all of you out there. It's been 16 years since I did pastry work. So I like to make them the same size. So I see many Capricorns are going to be like finding a new place to live. If you've, maybe you're getting out on your own for the first time, you could be decorating an apartment, getting an apartment going, getting a new house, a new condo, a new apartment. I feel Aquarians are going to do really well financially in 2018. I see in some regards you're going to be making money. Making good money, doing well financially speaking. You may even feel like this right off the bat in the beginning of the year, Aquarius. I feel like it's early that you feel this way, early on in the year, January, February, March, first quarter. Some of you Aquarians may have a new romance budding in your life in 2018. For some of you, this new love may come in August. It really could come in at any time of the year for Aquarians, but I feel August. I feel with Pisces, your family orientation is changing. Either you have somebody that's having birth of a child coming into your family, somebody's getting married, maybe people are getting divorced. Something about your family orientation is changing, Pisces. Some of you may feel that fairly early on in the year, at the beginning, at the start of 2018. So again, now I'm going to make all the little ridges in here that make them look like carrots. You don't have to do that step. It's kind of a fussy thing to do. Boy, I've really lost my touch. I used to make hundreds of these. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm learning how to ride a bike all over again. I see Pisces also taking some extra training courses or some extra courses of study, or like I get like training program, extra courses, study. Those are the words that come up around Pisces. I feel that is also going on right at the beginning of the year. I get January. It's early on in 2018, but it really could be at any point. And going through some kind of tests, study, or doing some kind of analysis about something comes up in regard to that. You also may be changing direction and making money in a new or different way. Also Pisces, some of you that applies to. Okay, so now I've got the little markings on all the carrots. So now when you want to make the top, I just would make it like a little V. It's basically what you're doing. You're making a little U or a little V, and then you're going to put it over the top of the carrot. And voila, there's your carrot to go on top of the carrot cake. So I'm going to finish up with these. I pick up that Aries are either going to start traveling or have a new component that's going to happen to do with their work. Some of you Aries could be starting a new business, but for some of you there could be something new about your job or business. That's like, because I get the words new component for Aries. new component for your business or work life for Aries. I feel like you're going to be thinking about your life, Aries, and like, because I hear, how does your garden grow? Like that Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? I feel that you are going to be analyzing your life, Aries, and thinking about how can I make it better. Okay, so now we're going to decorate this carrot cake, and we have the cream cheese frosting made. I'm just going to whip it up another second. I feel Tauruses in the year of 2018 are going to be bringing new things to the table. This could be new programs of any kind, especially if you're involved in education, any training or education, I feel you could be bringing in new. And I see you talking at a gathering, actually. You could be making some kind of big presentation or some announcement. It could have to do with this. What I'm talking about here. Now I'm going to cut this to make it a little more level. Make sure, Taurus, you are being real clear about what you're saying and doing and how you're presenting it in 2018, because you don't want anybody to be using your words against you or saying you said something in a way that you actually didn't. So you want to be cautious of that. Capricorns, you could be dealing with somebody in 2018 that has big emotional swings back and forth. They could have a bipolar disorder, or they could just be somebody that has strong swings of emotions in 2018. I feel Capricorns will be doing something in 2018 that will lead to bigger and more grander things. Like, it's whatever you're doing, work, family, whatever, it's leading you to bigger and better things in 2018. So I'm going to reserve these because you know what? Tell me somebody's not going to want to eat these. Someone will eat them in your house. I hear that Aquarians are going to be making friends with someone in 2018 that seems unlikely, like an unlikely friend. And I feel for you Aquarians, this could actually occur right at the beginning of the year. I also feel Aquarians are going to make great strides moving forward in 2018. This could be for like a company that you work for, or if you own your own company, but there's great strides moving forward for Aquarians in 2018. So now I'm going to start putting the cream cheese icing on this cake. Pisces, I feel, is going to develop some sort of community. You may start your own website or blog and have some kind of following that happens. It could also be you could be developing some kind of club or group that you get a lot of people joining in and interested in what you're doing and saying. Now, as I said, you can use toasted coconut. That's what I'm going to use to decorate the sides of the cake, but you could use ground toasted pecans. That's what's in the cake. If you're using walnuts instead of pecans in the cake, you could use walnuts. I'm using this toasted coconut. I see Pisces like building bridges. That's how it comes up to me, building bridges. You could be building some kind of community where it brings people together, brings groups of people together. This could be in some field or endeavor that you want. It could also be that, that you're interested in. Could also be building bridges in a family sense with family members. So I like my cakes to be flat on the top. So I am turning the top into the middle here. Aries, if you've had any stumbling blocks that have been created for you at work or any in any situation that you've been unhappy about, I feel those blocks start to move forward for you now. Things start to move. Also, like a lot of healing is going to go on for Aries, where I pick up that Aries will be healing and moving on from bad memories that actually are kind of following them or have hung over their heads from the past. These could be childhood memories. They could be memories of a, bad love relationship, any kind of bad memories. I see Geminis doing something that's a gateway or a doorway to something else. Like this could be to do with a business or something in your personal life. I feel like Gemini is going to need some time to process some things that have happened to them in 2018, because I feel there's been some like quick changes of things that have happened. And so you need some time to process. I see Cancers surrendering unconditional love to someone. This could be to someone you love, like a romance. It could also be to a child or to someone in need. I feel that Cancers need to watch their words very carefully at any family gathering that you get invited to in 2018. Watch your words carefully, because I feel there's a possibility you could offend somebody here, or somebody would take something you're saying the wrong way. So now I'm going to refrigerate this a little bit before I go to put the coconut on the sides, because this is a high cake and I don't want the top to slide off. So I'm going to refrigerate it for a minute or two. Okay, so now we're going to finish decorating this, but first I want to mark off the slices. I'm not sure. I think I made 12 carats, right? So I'm going to go with 12 slices. I see Leo's doing some things that are like trial by error. You may be revising something you're doing with work or a website or your business, and if you own your own business, or even if you work for somebody else, you may be doing some trial by error, like, let me see how this works, let me see how that works, to get it exactly right, especially if you're like implementing or starting something new. So now this is pretty heavy. If you can't hold it upright, you could put it on a on the cake stand and spin it around. Or if you put it on a cake circle, be much lighter in weight than this glass plate. Or you really don't have to put any coconut or any side thing around it. Just because I'm showing it doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Like I said, you could use walnuts, pecans, whatever you used inside of the cake. I happen to love coconut, so I'm going with toasted coconut personally, but you don't have to do that. You could even use untoasted coconut. You don't have to toast the coconut. You could use untoasted. Now, in this recipe, I want to say, I feel you could make half of this cake, half. And then when you got to the stage of cutting it in half, to decorate it in half, you could slice that with a serrated knife and just make a lower carrot cake, or you could make double. Like you could make this recipe the way it is and make it high. If you don't like it that way, you could, you like the shorter version, you could still make the full recipe and put one in the freezer, and then when holiday time comes around, you don't have to bake a cake. You've already got the cake in the freezer. But I would definitely recommend that you double the recipe for the icing, the chocolate, the cream cheese frosting. I would not just use the the recipe the way it was because I don't know. Honestly, I would double it from what I said to you right in the beginning because I don't know how you could ever get, if you're going to do the high cake here with the two, you know, not just cutting it in half, you would never have enough cream cheese frosting to finish this cake unless you doubled the cream cheese frosting recipe. So I strongly recommend you double it. Some of the Leos are going to get some kind of degree. Could be in engineering, because I pick up engineering degree for some Leos. And I also feel that you could have some kind of partnership forming in business or with work or love. So I'm using a star tip here. I see Leo's also creating a lot of money for people in the family. Like whatever you're doing is generating good money. And it's like you're either building an empire, Leo, or like a family legacy. Maybe you have kids and you want to see that they get, you know, like you want to help them out or you want them to have like some kind of empire. Now there is quite a bit of cream cheese frosting left. So I just do not feel, honestly, that the recipe as it stood by itself would be enough. So you could do the cream cheese frosting recipe I gave at the beginning and do it 1.5. That amount would probably actually be perfect unless you really want to do all this piping. Now, if you have cream cheese frosting left over, you could always make red velvet cupcakes or get a red velvet cake recipe out. You can even buy them in the food store. They do make box mixes even of red velvet because cream cheese frosting also goes great on red velvet cake as well. Okay, so now I'm going to put the marzipan carrots that I showed you in the beginning, how to make those, and I'm going to put them on. Ooh. They're sticking a little to the plate. Marzipan is sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. And the way, if I could have found my cake comb, I would have used that on this cake. I couldn't find it. A lot of my tools from my many years as a pastry chef are in storage. In my garage, in boxes. I found a lot of it. Before I started this show, I had to dig a lot of that out. I did not come across my cake comb, which looks like serrated edges, and swirl the top with a cake comb. A lot of times people do that on carrot cake. I happen to like it that way. That's what I would have done, but couldn't find it. So we're doing it without. And I'm going to take a taste of this carrot cake in a second and see what's the opinion. Okay, so that finishes that up. All right. So it is a lot of ingredients. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of ingredients, but carrot cake is actually very simple to make. And cream cheese frosting, not hard to make. None of it is hard to make. It really is very simple, and this is a dessert. Most people like carrot cake. I don't think I know anybody that doesn't like it. So now I'm going to give it a whirl and see what I think. Oh, woe-is me. My diet, my diet. To hell with the diet. Oh my. This is some serious business, this carrot cake. I should have a different knife. I should really be using a serrated knife. But this is what's in my hand, so I'm sticking with it. So when you cut it at home, I recommend you use a long, nice serrated knife and not a stupid steak knife like I just did. All right. So this is a high cake, no two ways about it. It's not a little That's why I really think you could do this recipe in half and make it low if you really don't want all that cake. So let's see. What do I think? Probably say, you know I'm going to say it's good. I really like that there's coconut in it. That's the thing I like the best about it. I really like it. The pineapple, I can taste it somewhat. It's not overly pineapple-y. Also, the other thing that's interesting, there is a little texture of the carrots in the carrot cake, but not like you would get if you grated the carrots. It kind of, the carrots are, I don't want to say disappeared because you can still taste the carrot. It's just not, the texture in it that you feel is the coconut. So I really like this recipe. I really hope you try it, give it a try. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope the psychic messages will be helpful to you and that you might give this recipe a try and write me and let me know. Please listen to the tips that I gave about it. If you're making this high cake, I would either do the cream cheese icing ×2 or 1.5 times, or cut the cake recipe in half, keep the frosting recipe the same, and just make the cake recipe in half and not have such a high cake. But it's all up to you. You know, this is the way they usually put carrot cakes out. I never made them in my bakeries or in the places I worked. I never made them this high. I didn't think it was necessary, but I do love carrot cake. So thank you so much for watching these videos. Please remember to follow your passions in life, and that way you'll know you're on your true path. Until next time. Thanks for watching The Psychic Pastry Chef. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in getting any of the special videos I've recorded for my Psychic Pastry Chef Vimeo on-demand channel with more recipes and psychic predictions for 2018 for each sign of the zodiac, you can access these videos for purchase by clicking on the link below this video, or you can go to my website, www.thepsychicpastrychef.com, and click on the videos tab on my menu. If you're interested in scheduling a private psychic reading with me, or purchasing any of the special videos that I record monthly for each sign of the zodiac for my Lucky Mermaid Vimeo on-demand channel, you can access those videos for purchase by clicking on the videos tab on my menu at www.theluckymermaid.com and go to my order page online scheduling calendar for booking new appointments, which reopens every 4 to 5 months. See you next month.